let's talk about the use cases. So I can think of many myself and saw quite a few, as I said, at Hannover Messe. I'm sure you've spent a lot more time digging into talking with the whole landscape of vendors, as you've mentioned, that have been in this space or are now entering this space with kind of renewed energy. So let's start with a discussion of what those use cases are, and then we can transition to talking about the vendors.
Yeah, there's a lot of use cases, and I should probably tell you that I first started getting into this, based on an inquiry from a customer that we had about video analytics, right? And that is part of the issue here, is that there are so many use cases that go across so many different areas. We have smart surveillance applications, access control, perimeter control. I think kind of the, what you would think of as the traditional, closed circuit TV applications, where you're looking for people that probably shouldn't be in a particular place, or you want to protect the perimeter of your refinery. So you want to make sure you have a full, 360-degree view of what's happening. You have remote inspection and monitoring applications, where we have things like robots and drones, going out to certain areas and inspecting remote assets. That could be in the power industry, inspecting, high voltage transmission lines. It could be in a process plant where you have robots that are inspecting sensitive areas of the plant that are prone to emissions and things like that. We have traditional machine vision applications that I mentioned before, where you have products, coming off on a transfer line or an assembly line, and you want to do very rapid inspection of these products for defects and irregularities and so forth. So there's many, many different use cases, right? Expanding all the way from surveillance to actual real-time manufacturing applications. So I think this is one of the few technologies actually out there that spans the entire spectrum, right? From these types of very, maybe more simple types of surveillance all the way through to these very high speed, high sensitivity, huge amounts of data for, product quality inspections and so forth.
I was going to say, and you got to product quality. I was going to prompt you there that, from our research, and we looked at kind of 25 industrial AI use cases kind of spread across everything from the connected worker type use cases, which some of them touched on, which might be more around safety applications, to security or loss prevention as well, right? But the one that we saw, there was two use cases that we saw pop to the top, and one of them was more machine learning for anomaly detection. So that's predictive maintenance type use cases are by far the most pervasive, shall we say, when we talk to our end users about how they're applying AI. But pretty close up there is quality, which is predominantly using computer vision to inspect the quality, whether it's on a discrete manufacturer's packaging line or assembly line, or looking at the components on a circuit board. There's lots of applications of it, and I talked with Zeiss a couple of years ago, who were really starting to do some very sophisticated things, not just with computer vision, but obviously we associate Zeiss with lenses and optics.
Oh, sure.
So that was certainly part of the equation.
Sure. Yeah. And that's something we'll get a little bit into, right? Because Zeiss is very strong in optics, and now they're applying analytics. Where else might this go, right? Could it go beyond?
Well, and Sony is another one. I should mention Sony, right? Because Sony is...
I have a bunch more, actually, examples that I want to give later on. But, yeah, you're right. The product quality and the, asset management aspects of this are two of the really leading applications. And I also think employee safety, is another big one.
Yes, and I can recall some early use cases. It was an oil and gas company, but it was on their retail side of the business, where they were using cameras looking for people smoking next to the gas pumps, and unsafe practices to alert people inside that, hey, there could be something dangerous happening outside on their forecourt. So, I mean, there's been lots of applications of that we can point to.